Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Modern Apocalypse Things G3 mod, which is being made by user Thing333. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the real-world G3 Assault Rifle, and I have been having a lot of fun with this gun because not only is it just a fun new weapon to play around with, but it is also a real-world historic gun, and I always do enjoy those things, especially from around the Cold War period. And to make it even better, we technically have seen this in the franchise before in the form of the R91 assault rifle in Fallout 3, which was based off of the G3. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get here in the game, as it's called the Wasteland Rifle, which in its most standard and basic-ish sort of form will do 52 damage with a 5.56 round with a firing rate of 66, range of 161, accuracy of 78 for a weight of 11.2. Not too bad there. And as you can see, it is a pretty good looking gun, certainly looks the part for a G3, and what I especially love about this weapon is that it looks like a G3 that's been through the post-apocalypse. I always hate when weapon mods have their guns all nice, new, and clean. This thing's got, dent marks, beat up bits, rust. It's got, a weird stock made of just two pieces of wood nailed together. It looks like this thing's seen 2 centuries of the post-apocalyptic world, and that is great. Now, through modifications, you can clean it up quite a bit, but still, it always kind of looks a bit old and beat up, and I love that, especially over just annoying modern tactical things. This is more my style. Now, as for the modifications here, we've got a pretty decent list of things, not the largest ever, but enough modifications in here to make this thing more powerful, give it more the particular function you're looking for. But still, even with all of those, I'd say that this is going to be a pretty, at least in my opinion, a pretty solidly mid-game gun. You'll get it in like the early-ish game, but I'd say it probably is best in the mid-game, though with perks and the right mod, you could probably eke it into a bit of the late game there. But still, wonderful weapon nonetheless. Now, as for how you get your hands on one of these lovely things, well, it's pretty darn simple. First, you will need a DLC requirement in the form of Nuka World. It will require that to function. Now, once you've got that installed in the mod, it will start spawning in the world starting at level 12, and you'll find it on Minutemen Raiders Railroad and on Nuka World Operators. Now, besides that, you can also head on over to any chemistry station in the world, and we have the AKG3 category here, which allows you to build the Wasteland Rifle, which is quite interesting because, well, you'll see, of course, the number is different over here for the damage, and that's because whenever I build these, it really randomizes the modifications. So sometimes you may end up with a semi-automatic version, which is the stats I was talking about earlier, but sometimes it may end up with, of course, an automatic version, which the standard automatic is around that 35 damage. But yes, every time you build these things, you're going to get just a complete random assortment of modifications on the gun, which is kind of odd. I really would wish this would have had a standard rifle when constructed, but still, you can go ahead and make it there at the chemistry station whenever you do so desire. So let's take a look at what modifications this thing does have, and start with, of course, the receiver category, which instead of the typical things in here, we've only got 3. A standard, fast, and heavy receiver, which is really gonna bump up the damage on this thing. Well, not really, it increases it by 11, but still, hey, that's more damage for, this gun. And then the barrel category, we've got a fair few more options with the standard barrel, a improved wooden, short, light, metallic marksman, and a R91 barrel, which I really do like, since this is, the basis for the R91 in Fallout 3. You can turn it into just a R91 with this particular barrel, and I love that. We also get the fun description there. And finally, we do also have a suppressed barrel if you do want to be a bit sneaky. Kind of looks like just an extended MP5 suppressed model, but neat. I mean, it is also built by HK, so that kind of makes sense, I guess. Now then, in the stock category, we've got the standard junk stock, a wire stock, metallic, wooden, and marksman stock. I think my personal favorite there. Very nice. And then in the magazine category, we've got a nice selection of things. The small, medium, small restored magazine to make it look a bit nicer. A just full restored magazine equal to the medium. An AK magazine, which actually is going to change up the ammo on this to the 7.62 if you do have, a lot of that lying around. But it is also going to, slow down the reload speed there. And finally, we have the steel mag, which is going to add a little bit more damage because it's actually converting it to a 308. It's only a couple of extra points of damage, but hey, every little extra bit counts when you're trying to take down an enemy. Now then we have our sights category, which I think is my most disappointed part in here. You guys know me, I love a lot of sight options, but we've only got, as you can see, 5. The iron sights, an ACOG sight, a laser pointer, a reflex sight, and a medium scope. I would have loved to see a few more things in here, but, I mean, this is enough options for most people's usage and how they're going to end up modding this gun, so it's acceptable, I'd say. And then we have the muzzle category here, where we've got either nothing, a bayonet, suppressor, if you didn't go with the suppressor barrel, of course, a closed bipod, a muzzle brake, an open bipod, which I find pretty cool, and yeah, just a fun little addition there. And then finally, well, no, not finally, we got one more category after this, I believe. Yes, we have the fire mode select category, where we either have semi-auto or auto fire, which you can see does, of course, drastically lower the damage of the gun because, well, yeah, it's automatic. Of course it will. So that is also why I mentioned earlier when I was going through the stats, I said, like, basic-ish, because, honestly, neither of these are labeled as standard, so I didn't know what the standard would be. So I just went with semi-auto. But yes, we do have that option to switch these in here. Now, finally, we have the sort of texture category here. And this is one of the problems I've got with this mod. I have tried everything I can think of to get these to work, but they, suddenly are. What? Oh, wow, that's fun. I've been testing this mod for about an hour now before making this video, and these textures weren't working. So I was about to give a little spiel about this being the one bug that I really have with this thing, but now they appear to work out of nowhere. Fun, wonderful. Well, here we go. We have a number of different polymers you can change up on the gun to give it a little bit more of a unique flair for yourself. Now, if we do, I believe, change up the stocks on this, let's add like the, I think it's just the wooden stock there. Will it also change those colors? I wasn't able to test this before. Oh, yes, it does. Excellent. And it is adding a logo. Oh my God, I've been testing this for an hour and now it works. Well, at least it does. I'm happy about that. That's good. So it's not a bug I've got to worry about, which is great, which means I like this mod even more now. But yes, we got a number of fun colors in here for you to work with, or just go with the old-fashioned wood. Magnificent. So let's go grab my 2 modified versions. Oh, I love when that happens in a video. You know, I test these things for hours and then something changes when I record. I never understand why, but hey, as long as it's working, I'm a happy camper. All right, well, let's try the standard gun here first and take some shots. And there you go. It's using just the standard in-game sounds, but it is borrowing a submachine gun animation from another mod, which is lovely. I do like having that custom animation in there. Well, custom-ish, since it is borrowing it from another mod. But overall, a fun and very easy to control gun. This thing does not have a lot of recoil on it, so it's very easy to keep on target. And as long as you're a good shot, unlike me, you could probably really keep this on an enemy very well. Magnificent. Now let's take a look at my 2 modified versions that I did make. First, the automatic version one here, which did drop down a lot of its power, but I mean, it's still, you know, a fun weapon here. And I did use the laser pointer one there, which, yeah, my usual thing on these sorts of laser sights, they're hard to see whenever it's light out, but do work perfectly fine with darker environments. But let's fire. Now, there you go. Now, as you can see, it's much harder to control with the fully automatic. It does get a little bit all over the place with this thing. so it is a little bit tougher, but if you're using VATS like I predominantly do, it's not going to be too bad. Now, as for my final modified version, I've got the suppressed one, which I also went with 308 on this to get the most amount of damage without perks that I was able to get, which is at 66 there. Which is again why I say this is kind of a mid-game gun. It's never going to be too powerful even with perks, but still, 66 ain't too bad. And there we go, some lovely silent shooting with this weapon. So let's pop out our usual Death Claw, which, boy, with only 66 damage, I don't know how great that's gonna go. But yeah, why not? Might as well. Let's see how this does against an enemy. Alright, if, you know, I at least hit him decently, which we're actually getting some alright shots on him. He's already, with one magazine, about half out of health. So... oh boy, he's moving a lot more now. Okay, up the stairs I go. Oh, always good to cheese. And, you know what, let's finish him off with the automatic. There we go, with our ported metallic barrel we've got there on this thing. Not a lot of ammo in the 20-round magazine. I really do wish there was a, oh god, that's so much kick. Really do wish there was a bigger magazine for this thing. But it's not too shabby. Let's go with the VATS. And go for the body. There we go. Ooh, not a lot of damage. We mostly got him in the back. Oh, God, he made it up the stairs a bit. All right, Deathclaw, time to die, please. There we go. Thank you. And yeah, that is the Things G3 mod, a fun addition to the game. I've always loved the G3 rifle, and of course the R91 from Fallout 3, so having them into the game with some fun modifications, and now magically working texture options. Still don't know how that happened, but cool, I'll roll with it. It's just a great fun weapon to have into the game that I very much have been enjoying, and if you'd like to check it out for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the video description as per usual. That's gonna be it for today. Hopefully you have enjoyed and you come back for the next, but until that time, thank you for watching and have a good one.